here to help you get out of a dinner rut. I've got 3 recipes I know your family's gonna love. Hey y'all, I'm Mandy, and this is Mandy in the Making. It is cold and rainy, but it is the perfect night for some chicken noodle soup. Steven is in the kitchen. He's standing right over here. He's gonna help me. I found a recipe online, and I found another recipe. I'm kind of tweaking it, marrying the two together, and creating my own version. Let's do it. Steven decided he didn't want to be on camera right now, so it's just me over here. I've got this large pot here. I'm gonna heat it up to about medium high, and we'll add some olive oil, and we're just gonna cook our chicken. I also have some rotisserie chicken in the freezer. If you have a rotisserie chicken and you're wanting to make this even quicker, use that. So he finally agreed to be on camera.
We're gonna season some chicken, okay?
Okay.
This is not gonna be too complicated. Salt and pepper. All right. We'll grind some pepper on there. We gotta make a mess, okay?
I'm also gonna grab a fork while he's doing this so he can flip it with a fork.
There we go.
Yeah.
And then garlic powder.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Got a little
excited there,
a little
huh?
ambitious on that. All right, there's some garlic powder on there. And then this is some poultry seasoning. Yeah. So it's like ground sage, ground thyme, ground rosemary, that kind of thing.
You can really season your chicken however you want.
You can do it however you want. And then we're gonna put some paprika on there, but first you gotta open it up.
Yeah.
It tends to work a little bit better once you take the top off of it. Some paprika. Ooh, look at that color. That's some color on there.
All right, here, I'll flip it for you. How about that?
Do some flipping.
There we go. 1.
Thank you, Mama. Yeah,
2.
there we go. And then look, we just do it again.
Do it again.
Seasoning the meat is always a favorite part of mine.
He loves standing over there at the spice cabinet. He just looks through all of the seasonings and he just he pulls some out, he'll put some back. It's just, it's cute to watch him.
It's all about the smells. You gotta
He
get
gets so
your
excited.
nose involved when you're picking the seasonings out and stuff.
Yeah.
Give it a little sniffle. Just don't get too close to the pepper when you do that. You'll end up you'll end up in a bad
Give it a little what?
little sniffle.
Sniffle.
A sniffle.
Okay, let's go over there and cook that.
Let's do it. Second favorite part is putting the meat in the pan. Gotta be hot. Medium high heat. Super duper hot. Put a couple of tablespoons of that olive oil. You could use avocado oil. We're using extra virgin olive oil. And then the meat goes in, lay it away. One thing I like to do is I like to kind of rotate the chicken in the pan on the one side that it's on.
Yeah.
Just to kind of make sure that it cooks even. And check this out. You can get your very own version of the My Kitchen cheat sheet at mandyinthemaking.com.
Now,
Also, if you want to know your meat temps, this little cheat sheet here has it on there. So if you look poultry, all types, 165 degrees Fahrenheit.
That's right.
We're good to go, baby. Elizabeth Rose said, I love your videos. Sometimes I honestly just have it on TV all day as background because they are such peaceful videos with all good vibes. I've made a number of your recipes recently, one of them being the white chicken enchiladas. And tonight I'm making the red mac and cheese. Thanks for what you do.
Oh, the red macaroni, that's a family favorite.
Yeah,
My mom made
I love that stuff.
It's so good. It's so
It's so
easy.
good. Look, I feel right. You need to get on this side. I don't know if I can operate on that side over there.
It did feel weird, quite honestly. But I'm so glad to hear when y'all try recipes that you found here on my channel. That makes me so happy.
Yeah.
I love that y'all love watching. That's great. But I just love that you take what you see and you're like, you know what? I should make that. And then you make it and you tell me about it. So good. Ow! I just got popped.
You better watch out, girl.
I'm all the way back here and I got popped.
Look at that.
Oh, look at that color.
That's what you want to wait for. You want to wait for that good sear color. Look at that.
Yeah, that looks amazing. Oh my goodness, it smells so good. Okay, so he's got the chicken out and he's just kind of working on shredding that up. And while he does that, I just chopped up some of these roasted red bell peppers.
She's like, I know y'all got chicken up there.
Right. Anyway, they come out of the jar pretty large, so I just chopped them up. We're gonna use about a half a cup, maybe 3/4 a cup of these roasted red bell peppers. Ma'am, this is the microphone. This is not cheese. Okay, so Steven has shredded our chicken. I chopped up our bell peppers, and I'm gonna add in our chicken broth to our hot pan. I'm adding almost 4 cups. This thing is almost completely full. Let's add in our roasted red pepper. I've got about a teaspoon of garlic here. We're gonna add that in for some flavor, because y'all know we love some garlic in this house. And then I've got some Italian seasonings. I've got parsley, basil, oregano, some salt, and then let's crack some black pepper in there. So back here in this pot, I've just got some water that's coming up to temperature. I'm gonna boil our pasta separately. You can definitely boil your pasta in with the chicken noodle soup if you want to, but you just gotta keep in mind that it's going to soak up a lot of the liquid, so you may have to add some liquid back. So that's why I'm just gonna cook it separately. Okay, our noodles, or our chicken broth, has come up to a simmer, and we're gonna put the chicken right back in. And while that is doing its thing, we're gonna add in our pasta. I have already drained it. I used about 2 cups of uncooked pasta and just cooked it according to package directions. Let's stir that around. I've got about 3/4 a cup of, this is not heavy cream, this is half and half. You could do heavy cream if you wanted to. And then we're just gonna add in about a tablespoon of cornstarch. That's gonna help thicken up our soup. So let's just whisk that in there. And we're gonna go add it to our soup. And in order for it to do its thickening thing, you need to bring it back up to a boil. So I'm gonna turn this back up a little bit. Now that this is starting to bubble and it's gonna start thickening, we're gonna add in about a cup of baby spinach. You can use regular spinach and just chop it up. I remove all the stems because I'm weird like that and I don't like the stems. It won't take long at all. And lastly, here at the very end, I'm gonna add in some freshly grated, it looks like coconut, but it's Parmesan cheese. About 1/3 cup or so. I'm gonna stir that in, and then it's gonna be time to eat. It looks kind of Christmassy with the red and the green.
It does, yeah.
'Tis the season, right?
Right.
It looks amazing.
It does.
It smells amazing. Let's see if it tastes amazing.
Oh wait, I got one piece of power. I mean, talk
One
about
piece?
anticlimactic.
Oh, man.
Hold.
We're back. This is some chunky soup right here.
It does look so good.
Chunks of chicken, noodles, roasted red pepper. That is amazing.
Is it?
Wow. Well, first of all, the soup is incredibly creamy.
Yeah.
But like loaded with flavor.
Good.
Very much like an Italian chicken noodle soup.
Yeah.
Like it exudes Italian chicken noodle soup.
It really does.
All of that together. Really creamy, and you can control the thickness of it with more
how much
cornstarch if you wanted to, but I like that this is a little more on the soupy side.
Right, it's not too thick.
So it's not too thick, it's very creamy. The ingredients are like perfect for each other.
Y'all, that
It's
roasted
just
red bell
amazing.
pepper in here is spot on.
Yes, not overpowering, it's a nice subtle flavor.
I could have added just a little more spinach, I think, but that's okay. Gracie Lou, ma'am, I know you think I have some for you, but I don't. I know, I'm so rude, aren't I?
One note for those who are particular about texture.
Yes.
If you wanted, we kind of left the chicken, we shredded it, but there's kind of some chunks in there with it too. It's kind of thick. So if you're not like ultra, happy about chunky chicken, you might want to shred it up, maybe even chop it a little bit just to make it even more fine if you wanted it that way. But
and y'all, I used up the rest of my bow tie pasta that I had on hand, and then I had some large elbows left. I am the queen of mixing my pastas together because I'll have half a box of this, half a box of that. I'll just put it all together. I don't care.
When I grew up, well, right down the road here, Pop and Grandma, they had farm.
They grew
lots of acres.
Yes.
And they did vegetable farming and things like that. My grandfather worked in a meal as well. When Grandma would fix us something for supper, she would put all his food in a bowl. He didn't eat out of a plate.
So the rest of y'all would eat off a plate.
Yeah, so you got your beans and your taters and your meat and all that.
It all went in a bowl.
It all just went in a bowl. Now she didn't, mix it together. She just put it in there in the bowl and it was all touching one another, and there was, juice or whatever, and then he'd have like a slice of onion, and he'd have his bread, and he'd use his bread to help
Scoop everything up.
up.
So he just ate a slice of onion, like raw onion?
Yeah, just ate raw onion.
I would have
He'd eat
heartburn like you would not believe.
just a little piece. Now, it wasn't no big old giant piece. It was just a little piece, and then he'd eat with the green tomato pickles and stuff too. But when I was a kid, I was always fascinated by that. And of course, I wanted to be like Granddad, so I'd be like, Grandma, I want mine in a bowl too. She's just happy that I'd eat all of it.
That's right.
That's all she wanted me to do.
So this was a go-backer. That's his second bowl.
This is a go-backer for sure.
Yeah. It is time for Subbie Supper. Subbie Supper just means that this recipe came from one of you. One of my subscribers sent in one of their favorite recipes. It sounded good to us, so we're going to give it a try. Today's Subbie Supper comes from Susan. Susan sent me an email, and her story just touched me, and I love that she has not had to give up her passion for cooking because of it. So she is legally blind. Back in 2009, when she was 38 years old, she suddenly found herself losing her eyesight within a month. And I may say this incorrectly, but she was diagnosed with Leber's hereditary optic neuropathy. It's a very rare condition, and that's what caused her to lose her eyesight. She said cooking has always been a passion of hers, and it was something that she was not willing to give up. She said she loves to watch my videos because I explain what I'm doing, so she's able to hear how to make the recipe and not just see it, which is super helpful. She said during the process of being diagnosed, before she could get any help and assistance, she cut herself, burned herself multiple times while she was trying to cook, but yet she just pressed on and just kept going. Eventually she had to leave work, and she found herself becoming very bored. She said she was always a cook and never a baker, but she decided to set out and learn something new. She learned how to make her own pie crust, and she now makes her own homemade bread. So this recipe that she sent me came because of her son's dislike of regular shepherd's pie. She decided to put her own twist on it and create something that she thought her son would love, and she was right, he does. So this is called Southwest Shepherd's Pie. I love the idea of it. I think we're gonna enjoy this one. So thank you, Susan, for sending it in. Let's make it. I haven't even opened the cheese. Say, but I know it's there, Mom. Okay. I'll give you some in just a minute. Okay, you got give me a minute. Okay.
What's up? What's going on? Ooh, yeah.
I heard this man running down the hall.
You heard some bear running down the hall. Boom, boom, boom.
What?
What?
Your shirt says bear.
It is a bear. Bear archery.
Fun fact. Did you know that Steven enjoys doing archery? He's taught himself how to do it. It's not a crossbow.
No, it's
just
it's instinctive archery, primitive archery, you know.
He enjoys it. He's really good at it.
I haven't done it in a while.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, you want to read some comments real quick?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, hang on. I've got some screenshots. Let me grab
I love reading some comments. All right, here we
my
go.
phone's back here. Hang on, I'll be back.
Okay.
You entertain them.
Gosh. What we got here? We got some, ooh, yeah, she's been thawing out some beef. It's looking good. What are we having? Southwest Shepherd's Pie? That's going to be amazing. We've had shepherd's pie before. We've had a couple of different versions of it. I think we got one from Scotland, actually, and it was called...
We did.
Mince and... It was
Mince
called
and Tatties.
Mince and Tatties.
Was that from, D?
Maybe.
Was it from
I can't
D?
remember.
D, was it from you?
There were a couple of ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I've got... Here's the first comment.
All right, here we go. Rhonda McFalls, she said, Steven, you're not a commentator, you're a rare-tater.
This is true. Y'all, if you missed the last video, you should go back and watch it. But Steven refers to himself as the commentator.
Or the commentator.
Right. Or the commentator.
Right.
Anyway, she said...
We'll go with commentator.
She said he's a rare tater. Okay, we are getting started by peeling our potatoes. I'm going to make my mashed potatoes the same way I always do. You make your mashed potatoes however you'd like. I think Susan mentioned that she uses Yukon Gold potatoes. I have russet potatoes. It doesn't really matter. But I'm going to get them started in the Instant Pot. Now, my last video that I did, several of you mentioned that I should use the tip of my peeler to get the bad spots out instead of just continuing to peel. And I have to say, that works like a charm. That's amazing. I don't know why I've never done that before. You guys coming in clutch with those tips, I'm telling you. Okay, so I've got all my potatoes in here. I'm going to pressure cook these for about 10 minutes. And while that gets started, we'll go over to the stove. Okay, in our large skillet, I've got a pound of ground beef. I'm adding my medium diced onion. Now, in Susan's recipe, she used 1.5 pounds of ground beef. I'm just kind of tweaking this to our liking. Not really to our liking, but to our needs. So I just wanted to thaw out 1 pound of ground beef and not worry about doing more than that. And I think that'll be plenty for the 3 of us anyway. We're gonna throw in some minced garlic because Stephen basically begged me to without begging me to.
I would never do such a thing.
No, never.
Never.
So now I'm just shredding some Monterey Jack cheese. You could definitely use pepper jack if you wanted to, or like a Mexican blend cheese. It's totally up to you. Okay, so we don't really have to drain ours because there's really not that much fat in here. But if you need to, at this point, go ahead and drain your meat. And then we're gonna add in a couple of tablespoons of taco seasoning. And next you're gonna add in a can of diced green chilies. And then she mentioned too, if you wanted to add some diced jalapeno, you could. This is all we had left in the fridge, so I'm just adding in what we had. Stir that around. And now we're gonna add in about 1/3 cup of salsa. She did say that if you felt like you needed to add a few tablespoons of water, you could. We're just gonna kind of eyeball this and see what we think.
Baby, that's looking good.
It is, it smells good too.
Man, those things are gonna be so good. Buried underneath a cloud of mashed potatoes.
Okay, let's turn this down and let it just hang out here until our mashed potatoes are ready. Y'all, you let me forget to preheat the oven. We gotta preheat to 375. So we're just going to cook everything or bake everything in this, since this skillet can go in the oven. But if you need to, just transfer this to a baking dish. You're gonna put your taco meat or your shepherd's pie meat on the bottom. Then you're gonna take some frozen corn and just do a good layer on top of the meat, however much you want. We're gonna put a little bit of cheese. And now let's put our mashed potatoes on top of that. So now I'm just gonna take our mashed potatoes and just smooth it all over. She said to take a fork and make little crevices on top. So let me go grab a fork and do just like she said. So what do you think, babe? Like,
yeah.
Kind of makes it look whipped on top.
That's right. I like that.
This is fun, I just wanna play. Okay. So this is gonna go in a 375-degree oven for about 20 minutes, and then we'll take it out and put the remaining cheese on top.
Kim Ferguson. Sounds like you guys are saying commentator. Laugh out loud. Don't be a commentator. Be a fully loaded, bigger than life tater. Love you guys. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Happy New Year and Merry Christmas to you as well, Kim Ferguson.
Thank you. I love that. Y'all are coming in strong with these commentator comments. Okay, it's about that time, y'all. Look at that. Wow is right. Okay, let's put some cheese on top of it. Okay, that's gonna go back in for, I don't know, 3 minutes or so until it melts completely. Sorry, I about burned myself.
Don't burn yourself.
Gosh.
It's time to get into this. I've been waiting too long.
Y'all, he is so impatient. He's been sitting in here. I had to go fix my water. He's been sitting here with this just perturbed look on his face like please hurry.
Hurry up.
Gosh.
Right, here we go.
Don't burn your mouth.
Boom!
Out of the park.
That's a home run right there.
Is it?
That's really good. Southwestern shepherd's pie. Had a brain kink there.
It's so good you just forgot what it was.
You got the spice of the salsa and the flavor of the salsa and everything that you put in there.
And I did put some jalapenos in there.
The taco seasoning, yes. It's definitely got the spice to it.
Okay,
for sure.
Good.
Definitely the Southwestern vibe / Mexican vibe. Ridiculously good.
I'm so happy. Okay, I'm gonna give it a try. I've got this one over here begging me for something. Stop! She's tapping me now, ma'am.
Oh wow.
Okay, he's almost done, and I hadn't even started. Okay, I'll be back. It is so good. I mean, it's hard not to be good when it's meat and taters. I mean, you know, but we just changed it up a little, and I love that. Stephen was saying the Monterey Jack cheese is very mild, so it's not an overpowering cheese flavor, which is actually really nice with this. So
Tex-Mex tatties right here, baby.
Tex-Mex tatties. Oh my. All right. Well, we give this 2 thumbs up. Thank you, Susan, so much for sending this in.
Whoa,
I forgot what I was gonna say. I'm done. For tonight's dinner, I have made beef stew many times, but this one seemed like a very rich in flavor, hearty beef stew that I wanted to try. It's always fun to try new recipes and see which one you like the best. It's going to be so simple. I actually put it in the crock pot this morning. We're about to eat now. So let's go back in time and I'll show you how I made it. And then I'll catch you back here when it's time to eat. So I've got about 1 pound of stew meat here. I did chop up some of the larger pieces into smaller pieces. They're about 1 inch now. So I'm going to salt and pepper them first, and then we will toss them in some flour, and then they're gonna go over here into a hot pan with some olive oil. So we're gonna test it and make sure the oil is ready. I'm not hearing a sizzle yet. You wanna make sure your pan is good and hot. Now we've got some sizzling going on, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the rest of these in here. You don't want to overcrowd your pan, and we're just going to brown these for like 45 seconds on each side, and then we're going to remove them. So we are definitely not cooking them all the way through. We're just searing these. Bless you. Okay, so these are good and browned. We're going to remove them to a plate and do the next batch. And once I am done browning all of the meat, I'll be back. Okay, to my hot pan, I just added a tablespoon of butter. I'm gonna let that melt. And to our butter, I'm gonna add in our onion that we already diced. And we're just gonna start to cook this for just a couple of minutes. We're gonna get it softened. And in that last minute or so, I'm gonna add some garlic. This is just a couple of cloves of minced garlic. We'll cook this for about another minute, and then we're gonna head over to the crock pot. Okay, in the bottom of our crock pot, we are going to put our stew meat. And right on top of there, we will add in our onions and garlic. Now I'm gonna add in a ½ cup of red wine. This is Cabernet Sauvignon. You could use Merlot as well. And if you don't want the wine, if you don't want to use wine, that's totally fine. Just up the amount of beef broth that you have. Now I'm gonna add in some better than bouillon. I'm gonna add in about a teaspoon of it. This is the roasted beef flavor. 2 cups of beef broth. About a tablespoon of the Dub sauce. We need about 1.5 tablespoons of tomato paste. I'm gonna stir this around to distribute it a little bit. Now I'm gonna add in my 2 carrots and 2 celery stalks that I've chopped. I've got a little over ½ pound of the Yukon Gold potatoes that I quartered. Now on top, I'm just going to lay this sprig of rosemary and 1 bay leaf. And that is it, my friends. We are gonna put the lid on this, and you can cook this on high for 3 to 4 hours or low for 7 to 8. I'm gonna do a mixture of the two because it is 11 o'clock right now. So I'm going to do high for, let's do 1.5 hours, and then I'll switch it over to low for the rest of the day.
You know, one question that we get quite frequently is if you've ever made anything I don't like.
Yes, I guess we should address that.
Should we?
Yes. So, I mean, there have been, probably since we started doing What's for Dinner, there's probably been 6 or 7 times that we've tried a dish in the 4 years that we've been doing this, that we've tried a dish that is not just him that doesn't like it, it's both of us. It sounded good on paper.
And it's such a disappointment.
When y'all see these, I only bring y'all winter dinners. But I am truly just making it for the very first time when I make it here. And we film the whole process. So the ones that were fails is so disappointing because it was a night of, number one, we just don't enjoy the meal. I mean, we eat it if it's edible, but it's not one that we would recommend. So it's a night of cooking that I feel like I've wasted. It's a night of filming that I feel like I've wasted. And then I have to go find another recipe for the week and then possibly go back to the grocery store. Yeah. It's a whole thing. So we hate it when that happens, but it does happen. It's very rare. I've gotten really good at picking out recipes, but every now and then it still happens. It is what it is. But these are called winter
Not often, though.
dinners.
Yeah.
And we're not going to share fails because I don't want to waste your time.
It's such
I don't
a
want to
waste
waste
of
mine.
time.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work to have to put in a meal that didn't turn out right. So it's just that's
Right.
why it doesn't make it on the video, because she has to do a lot of work. And
Yeah.
it's tough.
And then I don't want to waste your time either. I don't want you to watch and be like, this sounds really good.
Yeah.
And then we're like, oh.
I mean, I understand the entertainment value of that.
Yeah.
You know, but that's really not what it's about. So
No, it's not.
we can entertain you in other ways, you know, like me being goofy and crazy.
Him being a commentator, you know. So I've got rice going on the stove. We're going to serve this with rice tonight since we've already had potatoes this week. I'm going to remove our rosemary. I'm going to attempt to remove it. There we go. Got it. And also our bay leaf. Got it. So I had full intentions of coming in here and trying and thickening this some, but I think the flour, I mean, this is not, it's not thick by any means, but it's not super, super runny either. I don't know that I need to thicken it. Executive decision made. I am going to thicken it a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove some of the sauce here and put it in this really small saucepan. And I'm going to add a little bit of cornstarch to it and bring it to a boil on the stove. You could definitely add cornstarch in here, but if it's not boiling, it's really not going to do a whole lot. You have to get it to boil so that you can really get it to thicken. So we're going to whisk that together. I'm going to go grab my whisk and put this on the stovetop. Okay, I'm going to let this come up to a boil and let it thicken, and we're going to pour it back in and stir it in really well with the rest. So that took about a minute. It really did not take long at all. You can tell how thick that is. So let's stir this back in. And that just kind of thickened up the entire thing. That is exactly what you want out of a beef stew. Yep. Got some rosemary sprigs hanging on there. That looks like perfection. Let's eat.
Well, you delivered again.
Yeah, it
I
looks.
asked for a beef stew, and you did it.
I did.
This looks amazing. The smell, it's been smelling good up in here all day.
This house, oh my word, it has smelled so good all day.
Yeah. Oh man, it's nice and warm on this cold winter day. Is it winter yet?
It is not.
It's not winter. It
It's
feels
still
like
fall.
winter. It still feels like winter. That is classic beef stew right there.
So, I've made beef stew in the past numerous times. How does this one rank, do you feel like?
Way up there. You can definitely tell that the wine enhances the
Yeah.
flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's huge.
Someone is over here. She just cannot be quiet while Dad is eating. Nope, you just can't do it, can you? Gracie Lou. Honey, you can't have it. I'm so glad that I didn't skip out on the wine. The wine just adds such a richness to it. I love cooking with wine. It
Yep.
really does make a difference.
This meat just falls apart.
Yeah, it does.
You don't need teeth to eat that.
You don't need teeth? Okay, well, good thing. We still have teeth though. But you don't need them apparently.
No, you can just gum it.
It does just fall apart. Look at that. Completely falls apart. Y'all have got to make this. Also. Can I help you? Tell them say Merry Christmas. To Happy New Year.